In the headlines, National Security Advisor warns saboteurs as INEC releases election guidelines. APC screening committee disqualifies 10 presidential aspirants. President Buhari assents to 2022 amended Appropriation Act. And on the foreign scene, Ukrainian President Zelensky vows victory as Russian invasion enters 100th day. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Husseina Usman. Now the news in full. The Independent National Electoral Commission on Friday released the regulations and guidelines for the conduct of the 2023 general elections. INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu, at a meeting of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security in Abuja, said the Constitution, Electoral Act 2022, and the Commission's regulations and guidelines will now constitute the legal framework for the 2023 polls. During the meeting, the National Security Advisor, Babagana Mongono, represented by Sanusi Galadima, vowed to crush perpetrators of violence and forestall any acts that would undermine the 2023 polls. According to him, the coming into force of the Electoral Act 2022 had made it necessary to review the Commission's regulations and guidelines that govern the conduct of elections.
With the coming into force of the Electoral Act 2022, it has become necessary to review the Commission's regulations and guidelines to govern the conduct of elections. Going forward, the Commission will focus attention on election administration, logistics, inclusivity measures, and above all, security.
In fact, the two ops order we received encompasses everything that could pose a security threat in the state election. The ops order, if the IG, the intelligence community will religiously adhere to that ops order, we are very, very optimistic that the election will be conducted smoothly without any rancor.
The All Progressives Congress Presidential Aspirant Screening Committee has disqualified 10 of the 23 aspirants contesting to become the party's flag bearer in the 2023 elections. Chairman of the committee, John Oyegun, who is also a former national chairman of the party, said all aspirants met basic constitutional qualifications for the position. Kende Amodu reports.
The Presidential Aspirants Screening Committee of the APC had a tough task trying to narrow down those that would contest further at the presidential primaries on Monday. It's a make or break situation, and the APC's fortunes in the 2023 elections ride largely on this. So if all the aspirants met the basic qualifications, what other considerations were employed to arrive at this monumental decision?
It is on that basis. Who are you? What have you achieved? What is your understanding of your nation, and what do you think you can contribute to move the nation forward? It was on the basis of that that we made our final shortlist. But we have a shortlist. We brought the number severely down to 13.
And the numbers could have gone down lower. The APC national chairman has promised that the right thing will be done.
One thing which I find worthy of very special mention is the fact that the Nigerian youth have responded. They have, among them, people who braved the spirit of competition and offered themselves to be considered for this very, very important role.
This is indeed devastating news for some, and a lot of observers will be watching the political space to see how this drama ends. Kende Amodu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A presidential aspirant on the platform of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has said he holds President Muhammadu Buhari in high regard. Reactions had trailed Tinubu's comment in Abeokuta on Thursday, where he said he deserves to lead the nation after helping President Buhari to win the 2015 elections. In a statement on Friday, Tinubu said his comments were not meant to disrespect the president, adding that he had been quoted out of context. He said reactions suggesting that he had been disrespectful to the president were sensational and incorrect. Some members of the All Progressives Congress under the aegis of Gaskiya Youth Movement are asking the Federal High Court in Abuja to disqualify the former Lagos State Governor and presidential aspirant Bola Ahmed Tinubu from the party's presidential primary scheduled for Monday 6th and 7th. The members who made the request in a suit filed before the court listed APC and Tinubu as first and second defendants, while the Independent National Electoral Commission is listed as the third defendant. Part of their prayers include asking the court to determine whether Tinubu can participate in the APC primaries or that of any other political party, given his questionable educational background and date of birth. They're also seeking a declaration that given the questionable educational background and date of birth, among other questionable issues, the APC cannot allow and/or permit his participation in the primary election for the office of the president. The group also wants the court to declare that Tinubu cannot participate by presenting himself in any primary elections with any political party in Nigeria to be nominated as a presidential aspirant for the 2023 general elections. Supporters have converged on the National Secretariat of the All Progressives Congress to promote their candidates ahead of the APC presidential primaries. In this report, Trust TV's Sagir Ibrahim examines the mood at the APC Secretariat ahead of the party's special convention scheduled to hold on Monday, the 6th of June. The report.
APC counts down to its presidential primaries. Supporters have approached its national secretariat to drum support for their candidates.
And we know very soon we are going to celebrate with him in 2023.
The supporters, mostly persons with disabilities, also thank the party for giving opportunities to persons with disabilities to participate actively in politics.
Edmund is the only aspirant that considers persons with disability. He created directory for persons with disability. Recently, in just concluded House of Assembly election, he gave one of us, person with disability, automatic ticket to the House of Assembly. And is the person that start implementing United Nations Convention of Rights of Persons with Disability in line with the 2025 development goals.
Similarly, some supporters of former President Goodluck Jonathan stormed the Secretariat to call on its leadership to adopt him as their consensus candidate.
We are calling on President Muhammadu Buhari to continue to urge all party stakeholders for him to be given the preference of a consensus candidate in the party. We look at all the aspirants that have bought forms and have been screened under APC. He's the most qualified. He has been president. He has done it before. So there's no doubt that he cannot do it better.
I'm here to speak with one voice on behalf of the women that we want APC to bring Goodluck Jonathan come 2023. The women are ready to vote for him because we look at him to be a, trusted and tested candidate who is credible enough to come and take Nigeria to another level.
They explained that the former president, who is the most experienced candidate, has learned from past mistakes and will do better once elected as president. Sagir Ibrahim reporting for Trust TV.
5 All Progressives Congress senatorial aspirants have rejected the results of Adamawa South senatorial primaries, which produced Adamu Ismaila as winner. Addressing a press conference in Yola, the aggrieved aspirants distanced themselves from the exercise, accusing the Electoral Committee of allocating votes to their names. The report.
They said due to incontrovertible evidence of vote buying by the agents of one of the aspirants, the committee was forced to postpone the election to address the anomaly. They said most of them were at church on Sunday with no access to their phones, which made it impossible to access messages sent to intimate them that the election was rescheduled, adding that the message came barely 2 hours to exercises. The aggrieved aspirants are calling for total cancellation of the election results.
The Electoral Committee postponed the exercise and assured all of us that the exercise will continue after the issue of criminality had been resolved. The Electoral Committee also made clear to everybody that at that point it was no longer an allegation, but that they had substantiated, in view of the promissory notes found on the body of the agent, that they had substantiated the allegation.
But the Nigerian electoral law is very, very clear on this. You don't do this to the full glare of the people and openly compromising the process of the election. And what happened was that the pattern was established that day in favor of a particular aspirant who had the promissory notes in his pocket.
Already the party has that law against buying of votes. It has been made clearly written, that that act is unlawful, is unaccepted, and is not part and parcel of the party.
The 5 aspirants who did not partake in the exercise are Senators Grace Bent, Mohammed Abubakar, Mohayidi, Barrister Bala Sanga, Bridget Zidon, and Sani Jada. Reacting to allegations, winner of election Adamu Ismail Numan denied any vote buying as alleged by aggrieved aspirants, whom he said were ill-prepared for the exercise, insisting that the election was free and fair.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Reactions trail Katsina's first flyover. Do stay with us.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. You heard that National Security Advisor warns saboteurs as INEC releases election guidelines. We also told you that APC screening committee disqualifies 10 presidential aspirants. Moving on to the news, President Muhammadu Buhari has assented to the new appropriation bill recently passed into law by the National Assembly. Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, House of Representatives, Umar Eliakub, said the new law appeals the Appropriation Act passed by the lawmakers in December 2021 and enacts a new Appropriation Act 2022. This, he says, authorizes the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation the total sum of 17,003,000,000 and 19,007,000,000 and 4,091,019 naira only. Out of this, 817.6 billion is for statutory transfers, while 3.9 trillion will be for debt service. Similarly, 7.1 trillion is for recurrent expenditure, while 5.4 trillion would be for contribution to the Development Fund for capital expenditure for the year ending on the 31st of December 2022. Kaduna State Government, in partnership with Zipline, has launched drones for instant delivery of blood, vaccines, and other medicine supplies to health facilities across the state. This, the government said, is part of efforts towards actualization of the Universal Health Transformation Project. The report.
Kaduna State is the first state that launched the use of drones for instant delivery of medicines, blood and vaccines to hospitals mostly located at the rural communities. The center also houses a warehouse and inventory management. The fixed-wing drones are designed to move deliveries to long distances, adding that it will only take 45 minutes to deliver medical products to a distance of 85 kilometers. In his address, Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai says the center championing the delivery will complement the effort of the state government in ensuring that access to healthcare service is simplified. Governor El-Rufai added that Zipline instant delivery drones will eliminate the transportation challenge of moving medical supplies to hard-to-reach areas.
This partnership with Zipline enhances our ability to distribute medical commodities more efficiently to our health facilities throughout the 46,000 square kilometers of this state, including the remotest and otherwise inaccessible rural clinics, health centers, and hospitals. Indeed, even private hospitals, pharmacies, and patent medicine stores can benefit from our bulk purchase of commodities direct from manufacturers and the timely and efficient delivery by Zipline.
Earlier, the General Manager, Zipline Nigeria, Catherine Odias, says the center has the capacity to deliver to over 500 health facilities in the state.
Today's event is part of our final steps in going commercial, and by that begin delivery of medical commodities to over 500 health facilities within this distribution center. Once this first center is fully up and running, we will commence work on 2 additional centers in Kaduna State, with the government, of course.
While Rwanda and Ghana are the leading countries in the use of drones delivery, Kaduna State is the first state in Nigeria to launch the service.
Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari on Tuesday flagged off the first flyover interchange road network in Katsina State, estimated to have cost 4.3 billion naira. At the flag-off event, Masari declared that Katsina has now joined the League of States with embedded flyovers in their capitals. Jamil Mabai has more details.
The flag-off is part of the government's plan to improve urban infrastructure in Katsina State. The governor, Aminu Masari, said the contractor has been paid 50% of the cost of project, adding that it would be delivered within 12 months. He explained that the project, the third of its kind in the state, would reduce traffic congestion in the government-reserved area of Katsina Metropoli.
I believe that whichever government comes in must concentrate on the development of our inner cities to reduce this heavy congestion. What we are witnessing today is part of our moderate effort in terms of actualizing what we have promised to the people of Katsina State.
Months ago, the state government embarked on 2 other interchange flyovers and underpass in Kofar Kwaya and Kofar Kaura. With few months to general elections, and by implication, the end of the present administration, there are concerns in some quarters over the completion of these projects. While many celebrate the coming of these flyovers, small businesses, shops, and residents are negatively impacted as they are forced to relocate to other places. Ma'aruf bin Dawa and his father have been carrying business for over 20 years. Even though they are happy, they have no option but to leave. To be frank, we are not happy, but since it's a government project, as the masses, we have no option. We have to obey the government. Most of us run our businesses on credit. We don't even know where to go.
Behind me is another 4 billion project of construction of flyover and underpass by the Katsina state government. If you could recall, a few months ago, the state government has embarked on the construction of 2 flyovers in Kofar Kaura and Kofar Kwaya areas, and this is the 3rd phase of flyovers we're seeing in Katsina. And according to contractors, the duration of the project, it's going to be 12 months. The demolition process has started, and a lot of people are concerned majorly when it comes to traffic, because this area is one of the centers that links the major roads in Katsina state. And if you can look around, you can see majority of businesses are going to be affected by this project. But as far as the government is concerned, this is another achievement, another success.
One thing is clear. Urban infrastructure will lead to better intrastate transport system, but it comes with economic consequences, one of which small business owners like Ma'aruf and the hundreds of businesses will be affected. Jamil Mabai, Trust TV News, Katsina.
Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mohammed Bello, has clarified that his halting the inauguration of new chairmen of area councils in the territory was to keep with the rule of law. The minister spoke to newsmen at State House Abuja on Thursday. He said the administration was awaiting the outcome of cases in the court aimed at vacating the judgment or, at the worst, appealing the judgment. Kehinde Amudu reports.
The decision of the FCT administration to suspend the inauguration of new council chairman a day to the event had fueled speculations that the FCT minister was an interested party in the process because the election was won by the main opposition party. But the minister has dismissed those speculations.
As a law-abiding government, we honor the court judgment, and that's a natural thing to do. I'm sure it would have been unthinkable for me as sitting minister in the federal government of Nigeria in 2022 to flout a court judgment. Doesn't make sense. So now what we are doing is we are awaiting the outcome of the cases in the court, and at the end of the day, as a law-abiding administration, whatever the court says, we move on.
The minister is also quick to dismiss suggestions that terrorists are building cells within the FCT, insisting that the Capital Territory is the most secure part of Nigeria today.
Every incident that you read in the papers, or you see on the social media, or you listen in the radio, I tell you 10 to 15 cases have been nipped in the bud, but it's not out there in the public. For instance, we have, through the security agencies, busted several cells of BH, Boko Haram, within the FCT. Certain areas where they were and the kind of businesses they are doing and how they were able to blend easily within the wider community is something that I cannot divulge here.
The minister also explained the new spate of demolitions that he had signed off on in recent times. Demolitions, he says, will continue because there are people who do not want to follow regulations, while some demolitions are just almost inevitable.
We need to save lives. And that's why we continue to demolish. And when you have to construct a road meant for hundreds of thousands, and somebody decides, without seeking appropriate approval, decides to go and build on the middle of the road. So are you going to make a detour in respect of one person to the detriment of hundreds of thousands, or are you going to just move it away?
Other issues that are being tackled by the FCT administration are the large numbers of uncompleted buildings and unoccupied estates in the FCT. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amudu, Trust TV News.
On the foreign scene, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday vowed to emerge victorious even as Russian troops pounded the east and the United Nations pushed to get tens of millions of tons of grains out of the country to avert a global food crisis. The advance of Russian troops has been slowed by fierce Ukrainian resistance, which repelled them from around the capital and forced Moscow to shift its aims towards capturing the east. The West has sent ever more potent weapons to Ukraine and piled on ever more stringent sanctions, with the European Union on Friday formally adopting a ban on most Russian oil imports. Meanwhile, the United Nations said it was leading intense negotiations with Russia to allow Ukraine's grain harvest to leave the country. And finally, in sports, the league management company on Friday handed a 3 million naira fine on Shooting Star Sports Club of Ibadan for fans' assault on the sports journalist Toby Adekboju. It also asked the club to pay him 500,000 naira. Toby was attacked at the Lake Khan Salami Stadium in Ibadan on Wednesday, following the team's 1-1 draw with Remo Stars in a Nigerian Professional Football League match. Police operatives had to wade in to rescue him from the irate fans. In its reaction to the incident, the LMC condemned the attack, describing it as capable of bringing the game to disrepute. Earlier, the club had apologized to Toby over the incident, pledging to investigate the assault. And with this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Dashin Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.